All right, Unit 1, Formative 1, Day 1. The first thing we're going to be learning about is variables and expressions. Throughout this whole unit, you can make sure to pause. If you need to write something down, you can rewind and rewatch. If you need to continue to learn it, if you were confused the first time, my suggestion would be to watch it again. Let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is define what a variable is. A variable is a letter that represents a number. Now what that means is you can use any letter of the alphabet. For instance, X. You'll see X a lot throughout algebra. And that X represents any number it could possibly be. So it doesn't just represent one number, but it represents any number possible. Okay, so let's look at number 1. It says 5 more than D. We want to write that using math. Okay, so we have 5 more than D. D is a variable, and it represents the numbers. So we start with our D. Okay, and I'll switch colors so it'll make it a little bit easier to see. Now if I wanted 5 more than that, well, I would add 5. So D plus 5 would represent 5 more than D. Let's look at 2. X multiplied by 6. Well, I would have X times 6. We use the dot for times now. Or you could rewrite that and actually put 6x. You'll see 6x a lot more than you'll see x times 6. Okay, number 3, the sum of 11 and k. Well, here's where you have to remember what these words mean. Sum means adding. So we want 11 and k. We want the sum of that. So we want to add 11 plus k. Number 4, 7 minus f. You just write it exactly how it says. 7 minus f. All right, let's try some more. Okay, this next one is the trickiest one. 10 less than x. Sometimes people try to put 10 minus x, but it does not say minus. It says less than. So when it says this, you need to start with your variable, x, and then 10 less than that, you would actually subtract 10. So when you see less than, you need to make sure you put the variable first and then subtract the number. Okay, number 6, a number m divided by 3. So you have m. Now you could use the divide symbol if you want, divided by 3, that would be fine. But in algebra, a lot of times you'll just see m over 3, and that'll be more common. So get used to that. Okay, 2 more. Number 7, the product of 8 and a number x. Okay, product. Product means multiplying. So we're multiplying 8 and x, so we can write it as 8x. And then they want us to minus 9. So we have 8x minus 9. So this is where we kind of have 2 steps in one. Number 8, 13 less than the quotient of x and 3. Here's that less than again. Remember, we want to do the last part first on this one since it says less than, and then subtract 13 at the end. Quotient. You got to remember, quotient means divide. So we have x and 3 divided, so x divided by 3, and then 13 less than that, you would subtract 13. Okay, last couple of problems. Now let's go backwards. In this, you can just kind of read it. You have x plus 4. On number 2, you look at what it's doing first. It's taking the 5 and the r, and since they're right next to each other, it means it's multiplying it. So you would say 5 multiplied by a number r, and then you could write minus 3. Okay, and then the last one, you have x over 8 plus 2. That over, that line, means divide. We could use the word the quotient, since that means divide. So you could say the quotient of x and 8, and then put a comma, and then after that they want you to plus 2. So you should be able to go both ways. Okay, so now make sure you go and you take the quiz that aligns with this video. It's on the website. It's right next to the video. It's called Unit 1, Formative 1, Day 1 Quiz. It's over the variables and expressions, which we just learned. So go ahead and do that, and then I will see you in class tomorrow.